And welcome to an especially wrinkly edition of Ben's Junk, but a still functional one, mind you. Now, this is something that was sent to me by a viewer late last season, and this was actually in the running for the How I Spent My Summer episode, but I felt like I had more than enough material for it. And honestly, I don't have that much to say about this thing. But this is a ColecoVision video game console. It dates to about 1982, 83, somewhere in there. And of course, what everybody remembers this thing for is the controller, the kind of remote control styled thing. Built in joystick, two buttons, usually this one to jump, and then numbers and stuff. And of course, a lot of games came with cards that you could slide in the side that would give you specific instructions, commands, I guess you could say, for the game. And he sent me his whole collection of games, but only one of them had the cards. But it's this copy of Mousetrap, and here's the card. One of them, there's two of them that came with it. And they're a little tough to get in and out, but I shouldn't say out, just in, but yeah, there you go. In this case, it just made it so we now have a picture of a dog, and it made some nice colors. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. The ColecoVision is notable also because it had expansion modules that you could put into it. And here's where you could stick it. And there's a nice little thing in here, kind of an overgrown Atari cartridge sort of thing. And he sent me an expansion module, and this is so you can play Atari 2600 games on it. And it's got a couple of ports in the front that you can plug in Atari joysticks to. I tried it with the ColecoVision stuff in front, and it doesn't really work, so it must be just for Atari. Either that or I just don't know what I'm doing, which wouldn't be the first time, would it? Anyway, finish taking a look at this. Just kind of the basic controls, on and off, and then a reset button, kind of like on an Atari. And then on the back, it's real simple. You just have a channel 3 and 4 switch and an F plug, and of course a place for the AC. Now, he sent me a bunch of AV cables for this, but none of them are useful. So I actually had to dig out one of my spare Nintendo RF adapters, and that's how I tested it. And when I got this thing, almost like always, it was filthy. So it took me a good chunk of a day to clean this out, but I did. And let me tell the guy that sent this to me, it works just fine. Well, the console, anyway. He also sent me a couple of these alternate controllers, these kind of unwieldy joystick button calculator things. And this one works fine, but the second one he sent me, it gets jammed on the joystick. It's not responsive when I go up, or I guess you could say northeast. I took it apart, I looked at it, I cleaned it out, and it didn't really seem to help anything. Maybe a bad wire or something, or just wear and tear. Who knows? But I've only played a few games with this thing, and it's kind of unwieldy. I'm not gonna lie. I also found those to be kind of unwieldy too. But on the titles that I've tried, only this top button, we have 4 of them, only the top button does anything, and it's to make your character jump. I haven't encountered anything yet with the wheel or anything, but he sent me, I think I might have mentioned this, his whole collection. And indeed, let me get out of the tripod for a second here. There it is. The whole collection. I've only tried a few games with it. I mean, he sent me so much that it could take me forever to go through with this. And, of course, I'm not really that much of a gamer, and this has been pretty well trodden by the gaming community, so I'm sure I'll try it at some point, but this will probably be the only video I do with this thing. Anyway, that's really about it. I've got the... I'll show you the brick. The brick's a real beauty. this huge thing, non-polarized, and it's a bit of a hog. Anyway, that's really about all I have to say about this thing, so let's take a look at just a little gameplay footage, much like I did with the Magnavox Odyssey 2, just so you can see it in action. But again, this has been pretty well trodden. If you're curious about this, there's lots of videos to watch, lots of stuff to read on it, so if you're curious to explore further, feel free to. Otherwise, that is it for this Ben's Junk, and I'll see you again soon.